Hello, students. Welcome to the last notes for Unit 8. This one isn't necessarily, a structured notes from the textbook. So what we're going to do is we're just going to practice one skill for this particular lesson. So we made a CUDA worksheet for this. It's called Completing the Square for Equations of a Circle. Now, our equations of a circle, you've seen the standard form that we did earlier in the last section. So this section, they're not in standard form. So let's look. They're kind of all scattered, right? This looks kind of like a mess. We have x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 4y minus 108 equals 0. So let me start this lesson by actually going to the answer for this question. So the answer to this question looks like here's number 1. This is the answer to that question. Now, this is something you're familiar with. Remember, here's my h, here's my, I don't know why that did that. Here's my h, here's my k, and then r is equal to 11 because the square root of 121 is 11. So here we have a center. The center is 3, negative 2 with a radius of 11, right? So the question is, how do I get it from this form back to standard form right here? Now, if you don't believe this, here, let me actually use the distributive property and show you why it looks the way it does up above. Here, I'll do this algebra out, and I'll just prove to you that it's truly what you see above. We're not making this up. This is exactly what you would see. So x times x is, we're going to do x times x is x squared minus 3x plus 9. And then we're going to add to it y squared plus 2y plus 2y, and then plus 4. And what I want to do at the same time, I'm going to move 121 over to this side. So I'm going to move it, oh, maybe it's not a good time to move it. Let me just leave it to the right-hand side. So I'm going to clean this up. X squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 4y, sorry, plus 4 equals 121. I'm going to move 121 over. And I'll get x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 4y. We get 4 minus 121 is minus 117. Now let's take a look. I'm going to copy this right here. I'm going to copy it. Let's see if that's what we had to start off with. Okay. Oh, actually, it's close. Let's combine these now. Let's combine 9 and negative 117. So 9 minus 117 is actually negative 108. So x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y. Combine your 9 minus 117, that's negative 108, equals 0. And look at this. X squared, y squared, minus 6x, plus 4y, minus 108, 0, 0. So what we want to do is we want to go exactly in the opposite order that I just showed you. The goal here, and feel free to pause the video when I do this because I'm going to be going back and forth. The goal is to make this right here, is to make this look like this. Here, let me erase this. It's going to be to make that look exactly like this. And the reason being is that if I get it in this form, hold on, let me keep erasing. Oh, let me exit. It froze on me. Here we go. If I can get the equation to look like this, look at what I'll be able to do. I'll be able to actually factor that into this piece right here, and I'll be able to factor this into this piece right here, and then 121 will stay exactly where it is. So this is actually a really easy process. It's called completing the square. What you're doing is you're taking the terms and you want to make a perfect square, because 3 squared is 9, -3 minus -3 is -6. So what we're doing is we're making a square box, really, and we're looking for these special numbers, 9 and 4, that will make this all work out perfect. So let's do our first example. I talked enough about this. Let's actually do it. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to always want to move whatever numbers you have to the other side. So you're going to want to move 108 over to this side. So you're going to have x squared minus 6x. Well, you can also rearrange it at the same time. So let's just rearrange it. Plus y squared plus 4y equals 108. So I did 2 steps in one. I put my x's together, I put my y's together, but I also cleaned up and got rid of the 108. I don't want to deal with the 108 right now. I just want to deal with the x's, and I want to deal with the y's. Now, to create that 9 that we're looking for, let's do this. Let's give it a gap. So let's do this, and let's create a number that works for right here. Remember, we want that to be a 9, and we want this number to be a 4. Okay, so let's create a gap. We're not doing anything. We didn't add anything to either side or do anything like that. This is called completing the square. Let's take our b term. This is our a, b, and c, right? If this is a quadratic. So we're going to do -6 divided by 2, and we're going to square it. What we're doing is we're squaring the average. So -3 squared is 9. So check this out. We're going to add 9 to this side, and whatever you do to one side, you always, always, always have to do to the other. And now we're going to complete the square again, 4. So we're going to do 4 over 2 squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. So we're going to add 4 to this side, and we're going to add 4 to this side. So when it's all said and done, this right here is already able to be changed into x minus 3. Whoa, 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 how did I get -3? Hey, guess what? It's right here. I didn't do anything special. I already calculated the -3 that I need. -3 times -3 is a +9. -3 minus 3 is going to be my -6. So everything's already done for me. Now this one, I'm going to do, this one will clean up to be y plus 2 squared. Again, it's right here. I didn't do anything special. I already have the number. It's a +2. And then on this side, we have plus that equals 108 plus 9 is 117 plus 4 is 221. And that's it. So your final answer is going to be it's going to be x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 121. And we just moved it from whatever random form it was in to standard form. Okay, I'm obviously going to do another one so that we can get the hang of this. So step 1 for this one, let me just move some stuff over so it's not in the way of my other problem, okay? I'm going to try to consolidate the colors because it's turning into a mess here, but all right. Let's do, we're going to do x squared minus 24x plus blank, right? So those are my x's. And then I'm going to do y squared, plus y squared plus 16y plus blank. And then move your 192 over to the other side, equals 192. Sorry, negative 192. Oops. Okay, don't deal with the 192, just get over to the other side. Really, in theory, what's happening is 192 is breaking apart to fill in the x's and the y's, and then the rest is going to the other side. Don't think about it that way. Just move it over because I think this process is easier. So I combined my x's. I left space for the piece I need to complete the square. I clean up my y's. I put my y's together. I move and I create that space needed. I move 192 to the other side, make it negative. If it's negative, it would have became positive. And now I'm ready to complete the square. So I'm going to do negative 24 over 2 squared. I'm going to simplify it because that's the number that it will be in parentheses. Negative 12 squared, which is 144. So let's add 144 to this side. Let's add 144 to this side. And then I'm going to do 16 over 2 squared, which is 8 squared, which is 64. And so we're going to add 64 here. Remember, you always add. You don't need to worry because whenever you square something, even if it's negative, you'll always square the negative and you'll always get a positive. So don't worry, you're always adding. So you can always use addition here, okay? So we're going to add 64 to this side. You add it to both sides. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So am I completing the squares? You know what? I'll leave them right there. Okay. Now we're going to write it as x minus 12 squared. I'm pulling it right from this negative 12. And then plus y plus 8 squared equals, let's see, negative 192, add 144, add 64, and we get 16. Okay, and we're done. Hopefully that one was a little bit less confusing for you because I think the color variations, everything is a little bit more linear. Now, wait, is that the answer? Let's go check. I'm just going to bring this with us to the answer. And number 2, check that out. Number 2 is right there. We have x minus 12, y plus 8 squared, and then 16. Okay. I don't want to go too long with this video because I don't think I need to. If you do have questions, then you can ask during the Google Meet. But at this point, all you're doing is finishing this worksheet, and then I would also do this circle concept review, just so that you can. This is a blend of a little bit of everything, not including, because I didn't want to include this. I didn't want to include completing the square again, but this is kind of a nice little summary. It's a nice little summary. Is this something Is this a inscribed angle or a central angle? It's neither. That one's a neither because it doesn't lie in the center, and it's also not on the arc, right? So you can do both of those, okay? So just finish this up, and you are done with lesson 6. All right, have fun.